What is this?
This is our new YouTube studio and so much more.
It is so much more, isn't it? Right, we've got two things to do for the video today, which is a studio tour.
Yes.
And
a Q&A.
A Q&A. We've got a Q&A because you've asked loads of questions on the community post. So let's start with the tour.
Come on in.
This is our new, we call it a YouTube studio. It's not necessarily a YouTube studio. It's a studio for a few different things, which we'll come to shortly. A few action points for you. So this is just like the reception, right?
Yep.
This is a reception of
the reception of the building
we're in. Right, let's go through to this room here behind the camera. Okay, so this is where we've kind of set up. We haven't got the lighting in properly yet, but this is where we've kind of set up a studio, for want of a better word,
for
recording
video.
So this will be the main bit where we do any sort of voiceovers, any stuff from on a desk. It's a bit dark at the moment because, as I said, we've still got the lighting to sort. That's not obviously going to be what the channel is always about, because the channel remains outside showing you good stuff. But from the odd occasion when we need to be indoors, we've now got a decent studio rather than our living room, because we've been in our dining room for the last year.
We have not had the dining room table.
We haven't had a dining room table. Everything you see with me sat and looking at stuff in a film has been our dining room sort of area.
Everywhere we edit, everywhere we do that sort of stuff, it's all there.
So it's now going to be here. So as we go upstairs and show you the more exciting bits, let's talk to you about one more thing. Super important. If you've ever considered being a Patreon or a YouTube member, now's the time. We've taken a bit of a gamble with this place. We've got it for a couple of years, so we're going to kind of see how it goes for that period of time. But obviously now would be a really good time for you guys to sign up to Patreon or members if you've ever considered that. We've got some new tiers, we've got some new stuff coming on that platform. If you can't, of course, keep subscribing to the channel instead. But yeah, the links for that are in the description below. Go click them if you've ever considered it.
This is where the light changes dramatically.
It does, for a good reason though,
It is for a good reason, because here, if you turn the camera around, is a photo studio.
This is your photography studio.
It is.
So we're going to have a website listed below. Again, you can go and click on that. Something like, is it Whitewick Studios?
This is whitewickstudios.co.uk.
Whitewickstudios.co.uk. This will be to rent out as a photographic studio. So you know we're in the town of Andover in Southern England in Hampshire. So this is going to be a photography studio that we're going to rent out. This is one part of it. There's all sorts of different lighting available. Huge big curtainy thing, and there's lots more of those on the way.
Yeah, we have black and white, and we have stools and tables, and as you can see, we've got two big lights here, we've got some more there, there's a box of them there. And
this is all work in progress. This isn't a finished product. We've got a little changing room here for the studio, so we'll have a discreet changing room type situation. Yep. Again, available to book out. Go and click on that website. Next up, let's go back that way, Rebecca.
Okay,
Next up, back through this room.
Maze, this place.
Like a maze. Back through this room. Let's follow Rebecca. Little kitchen. We don't need to know about the kitchen, but kitchen facilities.
Podcast recording room. So many people doing podcasts, including Paul. He does a podcast as well, so we thought, why not? So many people are doing them now. We've got the equipment. We haven't got the table yet.
There's a lot more. Again, this is work in progress. The whole thing, we've got soundproofing been ordered. Soundproofing's been ordered and is on the way. So the whole room's going to be sort of soundproof's the wrong word, but the soft, bubbly stuff.
Soften it. Soften it.
So it's really good audio. Yeah, we've got equipment, more equipment coming. So yeah, this will be a podcast room as well to rent. Not just a podcast room, but also a voiceover room, because it's going to have that wonderful acoustic for your sound quality, so audio overlays, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so we're going to go do the Q&A. We're going to do that downstairs on a nice comfy sofa.
Okay.
Before we do that, again, just a reminder, if you've ever considered signing up to Patreon and YouTube members to support the channel in any way,
please join us.
Do that now, because now is the time when we could really appreciate your support. As we said, there's lots of extra content coming on the Patreon and YouTube members. But for the meantime, Rebecca, should we sit down and have a quick run through on the Q&A?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, okay, I'm a bit dressed up. Not dressed up. That's the wrong word.
You're overdressed.
Wait, you're all
I'm Christmassy. Look, it's Christmas. What about you?
I'm just grey jumper. We're going to do a Q&A. I've got loads of questions. Hopefully we can read out a whole bunch based on what you put on the community post questions for us. Benjamin OBE. Benjamin OBE? If this is a great question. If you could, this hat feels really tight, Rebecca. Is it?
You've got a big head, love.
I haven't got a big head.
What way do your ears go?
Benjamin OBE. If you could establish a long distance route The Whitewick Way, love this. Where in the UK would you run it? That's such a cool question, right?
From Scotland to down south.
Oh, what if we did like a, because I don't know, that's like 600-700 miles. What if we made like a 2,000-mile route because it just zigzagged and they took in all these different sites?
Yeah.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
That would be amazing.
Right.
I'd love that.
Scotland down to the south of England via loads of different places, zigzag all the way down, right?
Yeah, I'd love that.
AKA Snug D. Don't you love handles on YouTube?
People's handles.
AKA Snug D. Snug D. I love that name. Do you know what? I should have screened these questions first.
I have no question
There is
I
no
can
question.
think of. That's right.
I just wanted to let you know I enjoy your videos. Thank you for all you do. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas,
Merry
AKA
Christmas.
Snug D. Anna R. Farras. Any chance you could do a series on the Orkney Islands? As it seems the birthplace of much of what we see in South England. Great question. We'd love to do an Orkney one. We'd love to do more Scotland ones full stop, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Not in the immediate future, but one day soon we will do some sort of like, let's call them deep dives into places like that. Go back to Scotland and do much more with prehistory.
Yeah, when we can do a bit more long-term travelling.
Yeah,
I think, or long-distance travelling.
long-distance travelling.
Yeah.
We can start anywhere. Start from Hadrian. Start all different places. But Orkney,
definitely.
we'd love to go to Orkney. Barbacoa.
Yeah.
Your videos include a lot of walking. What is the maximum distance you've walked in the production of a single video? What's the average distance? Good question.
One of our longest walks has got to be Loch Skerrow.
Oh yes, because that was like 5 miles there and 5 miles back.
Yeah.
Plus the filming that you do on the way, because you don't just walk. You obviously film and record and camera down and drone and all that. That was a 10 mile, but we didn't start that till like 4 in the evening, did we?
I know, it was a bit crazy. We got a bit lost, and then we went the wrong way round to the start of it, so we ended up having to drive back round to the other side of it, and then it was a bit of a mad race, wasn't it?
So Loch Skerrow is like the UK's most remote disused station, and it's 5 miles from the nearest road. So we parked a car at the big fleet of water, or big water
Something
fleet
like that,
of something viaduct.
Yeah.
Bit of a viaduct, but we couldn't walk from that way because it was just so flooded or so boggy, right? So we then drove like 30 miles to the other side, and then we walked.
We did.
P. Edwards 10.
Oh, speaking of which, will we ever get any more abandoned stations?
There you go.
There you go.
I mean, the answer is yes. We don't do every disused station anymore, because, and for those that are new, we used to do a thing called every disused station, where we used to go and visit every disused station on a line. And we got to like 500 stations in the UK. There's like 7,000, and we just like burning out because we're going to housing estate, industrial estate, going, there was a station here.
It's now a Wickes, or it's now a Sainsbury's, or it's like a bunch of houses. Yeah, it was just a bit depressing, really.
And there was no story.
No.
Well, there were stories, but there weren't really good tales that we could tell.
Yeah.
So yes, we'll do more abandoned stations when there's a story to tell, or when we need a backdrop for a video we're telling that's railway related.
Yeah.
Rob Merrifield. Hi, Paul and Rebecca. Hi.
Hi.
I've enjoyed your channel for a long time. I'm curious, what is your profession, education? You're obviously good at producing YouTube content and your research is meticulous. Did you study history at university? What is your background story? Fair enough, that's a big question, isn't it?
It is. No, we did not study history at university.
No, or anywhere really, other than school, but you don't really...
School's not the same.
School's not the same because, number one, you don't really care when you're a kid about what you're learning about. You just get through, basically. And
well, back when we were at school, it was humanities, and you did all three all rolled into one. So humanities, you had to do history, geography, and RS.
no, we don't have a specific education in video production,
Or
history, antiquarianism, academia like archaeology. We'd love to, but that's in time. But we don't. We just sort of learn as we've gone along. So we have no background whatsoever in this. We just sort of do it because we love it and we have the passion for it. Yeah, I think if you've got passion for something, then you're probably going to end up being good at it if you do it enough.
Definitely.
D. Burland said, Paul, can we have more on the large Roman wall with self-healing concrete? Yes, you can. That was a video we did last week on Roman technologies. I'm not happy with that video at all. I mean, I am. But
as a taster video,
I really should have just gone straight into a deep dive on one of them. Number one, they weren't all Roman technologies. There were obviously some that were Greek. The triangulation were probably Greek. The Antikythera mechanism computer, that was almost certainly Greek, but it was in the Roman area, so I kind of stole it for the Roman narrative, but whatever. The point being, yes we will, and yes we'll do a deep dive on all of those topics at some point soon, because they're all fascinating in their own right. I need to understand concrete a little bit more, which is not something I really ever thought I'd say.
How do you manage to juggle?
Well, no, who's it by?
Who's it by?
Open NZ.
Okay.
So someone in New Zealand.
Fair play. How do you manage to juggle family life with the amount of work that these videos involve? Is this a full-time job, or do you have a day job as well?
It's nearly full-time.
It is nearly. We don't know how we juggle it with families.
We're not sure yet. It just happens.
It just happens.
We do a lot of work in the evenings. It's nearly full-time. We've got a part-time job elsewhere. You do other work as well, like your photo studio, things like that as well.
Yep.
So there's a lot going on for us. We've got 4 or 5 different things going on. How do we juggle it? I don't know really. It just kind of happens. You just do it. If you want to do it, you just do it and just get on and do it. You make the time. Yep. Peter Owen, I'd be interested to see a diagram of Stonehenge with all the stones labelled with their points of likely origin marked on a map. This diagram would contain likely routes that the stones will come from. You can almost do that because essentially you've got three different stones or 3 different locations. You've got the large megaliths, which were from the West Woods, or the area that is now the West Woods, 25 kilometres north. You've got the blue stones, which almost certainly South Wales. Whether they stopped on the way, I don't think anyone really knows, but you've got the blue stones, the inner ones from South Wales. You've got the altar stone, which was somewhere in the Orkney Basin in Scotland, north-east Scotland. We don't know exactly where yet, but not Orkney, but somewhere in the Orkney Basin. So you've got 3 different locations that we know of so far, and you can probably just
why don't you?
I'll try and put a link below where that map, so you can see that map. Catherine Williams, 669.
Which country in the world outside of the UK would you like to do a Whitewick style series on?
Fascinating. Outside the UK, great question. You'd love to do Egypt, right? Because you love Egyptian history.
Yeah, I'd love to do all that side of it, ancient Egypt side of history. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I'd love that.
Anything with it. Do you know what I find fascinating? Anything I'm learning about. Like I said, we're not historians and we're not archaeologists and we're not academics, right?
Nope.
So we kind of find something that we just find fascinating and just do a video on it. It's not us teaching you based on our own education. It's us teaching you based on what we're learning at the time of writing a script. We're like, oh, this is a really interesting thing. I think you guys would like to know about this. So we learn as we go. So I think I could find a story from anywhere that I found fascinating. Sandra Kent, 08049. Have you ever thought of coming further north? There are plenty of other places with Roman connections. I do enjoy your videos, whatever they are. Yeah, repeating ourselves from earlier, but yeah, Hadrian's Wall, we need to go and look at Hadrian's Wall, just look at it. We don't need to necessarily do a video because we've done a few videos on it already.
Our main problem with distance at the moment is the kids and sorting them out logistically wise. So yeah, once we've got the kids all settled and all, planned and not planned, that sounds really weird, but all where we need them to be when we need them to be, we'll be able to go that little bit further distance wise. At the moment we can't.
So coming soon.
So yes, that is definitely coming soon.
Phil Collison. Do you think extensive LiDAR studies could establish once and for all if the Australian Aborigine communities and settlements were the earliest created 50,000 years ago during the Ice Age when Australia was green? Great question. Absolutely no idea because it's not my area of speciality. LiDAR helps with everything. It really does. I don't think perhaps you could establish about original Aborigine communities.
No.
It's useful as a tool for routes, for not buildings, but like structures of earthworks, lines. So it could play a part, I would say. This is my uneducated opinion on this topic.
It could help.
May help. Yeah. But whether it is the be all and end all, no, but certainly part of the puzzle, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
Steve Shepherd, 2712.
Can you tell us about Chiselhurst Caves? I visited as a kid and it was a pretty spooky place, but have since heard it was a scam by landowner.
Cool. Never heard of that.
Then no, we can't tell you about that.
Never heard of that.
We can find out.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like an interesting story. We're always keen to know stories that you guys want to learn and understand. So definitely let us know more ideas you've got for us, and we'll have a look at them. That sounds like a cool idea.
Oh my, that's a long one.
Right, ADR Stania. Given the size of several Hillforts is now considered too large for these Hillforts or to ever be defendable, and it seems clans of ancient people were coming together for thousands of years beforehand, and surely other vast hill forts also had gatherings. Could some part of the gatherings have been for entertainment, not just perennial religious beliefs? Would it have been? I think basically, you need to. So would it be the equivalent of ancient Greek Olympics, that sort of thing? I think you need to think of hill forts as everything. As obviously we're talking Iron Age, so we're talking sort of 700 BC, let's say, to up to 43 AD. So you can see hill forts as everything during that period that they were, whether they were so many which were inhabited, I'll give you a local example. Danebury Hillfort had it at one point, according to Barry, kind of 600 people living within its walls. They were ramparted, so they were defendable. But then you've got vast ones like Maiden Castle, which were again inhabited, but I think only at certain periods. So the Hillforts had many uses, maybe ceremonial, maybe for trade, maybe trade routes on ridgeways, because why not?
Yeah.
Again, another local one, Bury Hillfort, everything they found there pretty much was to do with equine.
Yes,
and they realised that that was a work in place. They manufactured all the bits and pieces there, so why not defend it? Because their life was about defending from other tribes, and who knows what else, from external sources, they knew the Romans were coming, but whatever. So for them, their idea of a defendable place was the Hillfort. Yeah. Whether they lived there or not, it was a defendable place. So think of Hillforts, in my opinion, as many things to many different people.
Yeah.
Joint Gib. Joint Gib. What have you got planned for the channel next year? Good question.
Oh, all sorts.
Yeah.
Pretty much more of what you've
more
already been doing, more of what we've been doing together. Also,
more on the mixtape.
More on the mixtape next year.
We've got another channel, if you haven't seen it, the Whitewick mixtape.
Used to be Rebecca's Nest, but we renamed it because I didn't have time to start doing it just by myself, so it became like
the secondary channel. So more of what we've been doing already, because we love what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Next question. We're getting there. Stephen Davies. Question. How often do you conduct research for a film that for whatever reason doesn't get published? Good question. Not that often. I've got about 3 scripts, I think, that I've written that haven't yet published. And that's not necessarily because it didn't like it. It's because
it's normally time constraint, isn't it? Being able to get the videoing done for that particular one.
Yeah.
Or there's something missing and you're not quite sure
the click.
What to add to it to make it that.
Yes, it does happen. Special. So, but not often, I would say. Good question, though. Pauline Evans. I live in Wales. What would you consider the most important historical site in Wales? Oh. Great question. I can't answer that.
No.
I mean, there's so many people that are historians within Wales and do amazing videos on those, and they're much more qualified. What would we consider? There's probably a mountain of castles that played a huge role. Offers Dyke. Could that be one of the most important monuments within or on the border of Wales? Yeah. Because it played a big part in its history. I think that's not for us really to answer.
No, I'm not sure we've managed to answer that one.
Because we don't know enough about the location. But yeah, let's go with Offers Dyke, because why not? It's fun. Roger that. 2021.
How many hills in the UK are nearly mountains? How high does a hill have to be before it's considered a mountain?
Brings me to the film that I watched years ago, The Man That Went Up a Hill But Came Down a Mountain. About a village in Wales that had a mountain, and the OS were coming along and they measured it and they said, it's something like, I think it was 1,000 feet to be a mountain, and they said, sorry, your mountain is actually 994 feet or something. So all the locals went and put a pile of earth on top of the hill to make it into a mountain. So I think it's 1,000 feet.
Hence why it's called
it was
going
a mountain.
Up a hill and coming down a mountain.
Yeah, because they went
up the hill and then it was a mountain by the time he came back down.
Exactly.
Put the top on. Okay, fair play.
I think it was Hugh Grant. Paul Sanders times 4K. Do you plan to do anything on field names, such as the common field names as Anglo-Saxon, blah, 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 blah? No, not necessarily, unless it comes up as part of the story, because often field names could be useful as part of the story and helping us give us clues. Go and watch Allotment Fox's channel, because he will probably do something like that. What is the strangest thing you've ever seen when out and about making videos?
Yeah, this would be a you one.
Well, when we went with Sam Walks a lot, me and Sam were filming in the middle of a forest in the middle of nowhere, off of the beaten track, so we weren't even near a pathway that we should have been, so we're being a bit naughty. And we were setting up the camera and that, and we were just sort of talking about this and that, and someone just appeared here, like right by us, literally there. We were in the middle of this forest in the middle of nowhere, and we didn't even hear this person approach. It was quiet as... And it was a woman dressed like very druid-like, almost, yeah? And she just said, it's very peaceful, isn't it? And just walked between me and Sam and just carried on walking. Weirdest. I don't believe in like ghosts and anything at all like that. I'm the most sceptical person on the planet. But this was really weird. Tin Man, why hasn't Rebecca been on the channel for ages? Which local locations? Love the channel, keep up the content flowing. Why haven't you been on the channel, Rebecca?
Because I've been doing other stuff behind the scenes mainly at the moment. We've changed the style of the videos a little bit, so they're less vloggy. So it doesn't really work with both of us being in the style of videos that we've been doing. So I've been doing behind the scenes shizzle instead. So most like graphics,
and a lot of graphics,
editing, and you name it, all sorts behind the scenes. But I'm still here. Hi.
Cat Lady 356. Would you ever consider doing a video about a subject in York?
Yes.
Yeah, we love York.
Sorry, was that a bit just simple? Yes.
Ralph is a patron. What is the railway connection in Lana, your area,
that your country lacks?
Regent country lacks? I mean, we lack a full HS2. Yes, I'm a supporter. No, because it doesn't. Its purpose was never to take 15 minutes off your journey. It's not anywhere near as environmentally destructive as people will make you believe. Look at any motorway building, and it's not anywhere near as costly as people will make you believe. For example, the Lower Thames Crossing, 10-mile motorway, costs around about, I think it's now nearly 20 billion. The entirety of HS2, which included London, Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, Edinburgh, all of the railways, all of the coaches, the rolling stock, all of the stations along that route, and its ability to remove everything off in terms of express off of the network onto HS2 and therefore free up the rest of the communities for us to open abandoned lines. All that cost 100 billion compared to 20 billion for a 10-mile motorway. Go and have a look at anything. There's a road junction in Hull, a roundabout in Hull, which cost nearly £1 billion. Money is insane these days. So 100 billion for a railway that would do all of those things is exactly what its purpose was, not to shave 15 minutes off your journey between London and Birmingham. Now it's only going to Birmingham. It is a complete waste of time. Scrap it. Would you call your kid Isambard Kingdom Brunel? No. We've got 5 kids, none of them are called Isambard Kingdom Brunel. Sorry, that question was by Fiona Flatout. Harry Pembroke, how do you come up with the new video ideas, especially obscure topics? It must be challenging to cover them. Yes, it is, but it's born out of interest.
Yes. Quirkiness.
Quirkiness and interest.
Interest and intrigue into certain topics.
Yeah, when you do a video, often another video idea will come up. And another video idea will come up. So I'll write it down, I've got a big list.
Yeah, while you're researching something, little like tangents disappear. So you have to write those down, otherwise you will end up going down that rabbit hole while you're supposed to be filming and sort of researching another one.
David Bellani, 3380. So, what would you show Isaac Moreno Gallo if he came to visit? Isaac is a genius. He is a very intense Roman road historian, academic, all of those things. He's a legend. Love his content and love his work, more importantly. What would we show him if he came over to the UK? I don't know if we could show him anything new, apart from a few wonderful bits of Aga, the Fosse Way, the Roman Road Margery Route 4. There's some beautiful Agas in this country that are still there to see, and Isaac would love to see them, I'm sure. We're done.
We're done.
It's a wrap, everybody. So if you're still here, we love you for still being here. You are part of the hardcore that watch the channel. Genuinely appreciate it. Merry Christmas to everybody from us.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
And if now is the point that you are considering signing up to our Patreon or membership because you thought, why not support this channel and this ridiculous venture that we're on, we'd really, truly be grateful. There's some behind the scenes stuff for you to have a look at already on the back issues of it, backlog, but there's a lot more coming as well. Love to you all. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, etc.
Yep. Happy Christmas.
We'll
Happy New Year.
See you.
Have a wonderful time.
Yeah, have a wonderful time.
Have a wonderful time.